And we're back, folks. I'm your host, VKP, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Give me picture number 22. Number 22, this week. Little George Stephanopoulos. He threw the long bomb, thought he was getting it in the end zone, thought he was going to come up with a touchdown, thought he was going to come up with some information for the special prosecutor or special counsel Robert Mueller. And he threw up a wounded duck. There's George Papadopoulos. We all know George. It just seems like it was just yesterday. I didn't know if his name was Papadopoulos or Papa Giorgio. Okay, there's George Papadopoulos and his wife. This week with George Stephanopoulos. George Papadopoulos. American taxpayers, how do you feel this morning? How do you feel, American taxpayers? Those of you out there still trying to make it in this world with kids and, you know, all the money for the extracurricular activities your children are in the house payment and the car insurance and the car payments and all the above and groceries, just the list goes on. And then you find out that the government spent upwards of like $28 million. This guy got 14 days. 14 days in jail's his sentence for lying to the FBI, because the first time he got together, he didn't tell him about the meeting. The second time, he said, yeah, I had a meeting with some guy that claimed he had connections. I'm serious. 14 days, this guy got sentenced to jail. Now go to picture number, go to picture number 24. There's Papadopoulos, okay? Papadopoulos, did Papadopoulos tell campaign about dirt on Clinton? No. He never warned the campaign. Oh, George wanted it so bad. Please tell us right here on national TV. George Stephanopoulos even said, seriously? Come on, man. Seriously? Okay, this guy kept his cool. Papadopoulos kept his cool. 14 days. Now look at this. This dude is all right. This guy's made the best deal recently that I know. He must have read the art of the deal. He's going to spend 14 days in jail. Now, last year, you did not know this guy. This is how whacked out we are. And they keep saying Republicans and Donald Trump and the chaos in the White House. If you don't get a special counsel, Robert Mueller, and if you don't push this witch hunt narrative of Russian collusion, because it's falling apart. It has already fell apart, and that's why now they're on to anonymous. The New York Times is running the anonymous op-ed. Okay, you don't know this guy. This time last year, you don't know George Papadopoulos. You have no reason to know George Papadopoulos. George would have to get up and get a job so he can make a living, Papadopoulos. But this guy has made the best deal you can make. He didn't tell anything. According to what I can pick up, he didn't throw the president under the bus, according to what I can pick up. His wife, according to what I can pick up, they're not cooperating like everybody thought they were cooperating, what I can pick up. And the guy gets 14 days in jail, right? We've spent all the upfront money, and we've invested in this guy. He's already got a book deal. So what is it? Today's Monday. He's out in 2 weeks. 2 weeks this guy's out. So he's going to be a felon, right? But so he can't go vote. He'll just find something else to do on that day. And he'll probably live around New York City, so he won't have a gun anyway. You know, you can't get a permit to carry in New York City, right? So he's probably going to live around the city, so he probably doesn't want a gun. He could care less about a gun. And two, on the day of, election day, He just won't vote. He'll find something else to do. So there's the two things, right? And Trump gets past the 2020 election. This guy gets pardoned. And then he can vote and he can have his gun. I'm just telling you, this is, to the American people, the biggest waste of your tax money. 14 days, a book deal, and he's going to be pardoned. You watch and see. His wife was on there. I can't pronounce her name. Number 26 there. This is Papadopoulos' wife. She's on there. They thought he was going to tell them something. But let me go to some of my notes here on Papadopoulos. Let me just get those notes. Good morning. Where is it at? There's Chuck Todd. There's Dick Durbin. Where is it at? ABC George Stephanopoulos. They opened up. ABC George Stephanopoulos. The 1-2 punch like we've never seen before. The 1-2 punch. This is how George Stephanopoulos opened the show. 1-2 punch like we've never seen before. Let me see where it's at here. Put up number 21. This is the opening, number 21 of ABC This Week with George Stephanopoulos. The resistance, Trump administration, President Trump enraged. Number 22, Papadopoulos. Okay. Go ahead with number 22. And again, and number 23, Obama. It's radical. It's radical. And so that being said, ABC George Stephanopoulos, 1-2 punch like we've never seen before. George Papadopoulos will get 14 days for lying to the FBI. Okay. He met with this guy, Joseph Masudo, whatever his name is. When he went in the room, okay, George Papadopoulos told them in that room he had this opportunity with this guy here to meet with Russian officials. Manafort didn't want to pursue the meeting. I noticed George Papadopoulos said Manafort did not want to pursue the meeting. I didn't tell anybody about the campaign, about emails. Stephanopoulos kept pushing Papadopoulos. Did you tell them about the Hillary Clinton emails? Papadopoulos said they never said anything about DNC, okay? John Podesta, they never said anything like that. And no, I never told anybody in the campaign. Are you sure? No, I never told anybody in the campaign. Didn't tell anybody in the campaign about the emails. That blows up CNN and all of them. Why, we have information that Donald Trump knew about the emails. And George Papadopoulos may be the one that told everybody. There you go. Russia reaching out, never met with Russian official. He said he never met with a Russian official. Never talked about it to Michael Flynn. He lied about a meeting. The guy lied about a meeting. Protect the president, of course. Did you lie about the meeting to protect the president? Of course I did. I'm working for the guy in the campaign. I didn't want to go say anything. I believe the FBI was tracking me the whole time I was going through Europe. Okay? My verdict speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. What he's saying is his verdict speaks volumes. You know what? He got 14 days. It should speak volumes to all Americans. He got 14 days. He got a slap on the wrist for lying. Why do you think That right there is a big problem for their investigation. Papadopoulos said, well, what do you think about the president now? He says, well, listen, I'm not into social issues. Economic issues. I really don't get into that. My thing is foreign policy, Papadopoulos says. On foreign policy, I think he's done a good job. If you could have caught the look on George Stephanopoulos' face when Papadopoulos said, on foreign policy, I think he's done a good job. I mean, Stephanopoulos was shocked to hear that. I'm loyal to my country, but in everyone's interest in this country for the president to succeed. Papadopoulos said, I'm loyal to my country, but it's in everyone's interest to this country for the president to succeed. I hope he continues to do good things for this country. They could not take it. He could not take that at all, George Stephanopoulos. Now, pull up number 29. And number 29, this is Face the Nation. And all of the shows are talking about, and they're missing the point. Okay? And this is Duncan Hunter out in California, a Republican in a very safe seat. And I think his name's Collins. He's up in New York. All right? Now, I want to get this cleared once and for all. And the media is going nuts over insinuating that Donald Trump is trying to obstruct justice again and trying to direct the Department of Justice to drop investigations for political reasons. And let me be clear for anybody out there that doesn't understand what happened here, all right? Let's assume these guys are guilty. Let's go with that. Let's assume Duncan Hunter and Collins on the left, or the guy that's got the Face the Nation banner from New York, red tie, he accused of insider trading, okay, insider trading. Duncan Hunter's accused out there in California of using his campaign finance fund as a slush fund, okay, him and the wife. What Trump is saying is, and you got to remember this, if you're investigating congressmen and you're going to get to the indictment level, attorney general, assistant attorney general, the highest levels of the Department of Justice sign off. So let's be clear, when you're investigating congressmen, you don't have someone at the lowest level of the Department of Justice signing off on this indictment and signing off to further the investigation and move with the indictment. You don't have that. These are congressmen, and there's a higher level they go to. Now, all the President of the United States is saying, and let's be clear, okay? I had to hear this weekend one of these deep state media brains say to me, Obama, 8 years, no scandals, no indictments. I mean, I know you're out there saying you're disgusted by the gushing from the media over Barack Obama in Chicago attacking our President of the United States. I know so many are gushing out there this morning. They're gushing over this, and they're glad there's an adult. If you think anything's a coincidence, and we'll talk about it in a minute, you're totally wrong. There's no coincidence here. This took off on Saturday. McCain died before Labor Day, and it fueled the fire for Tuesday morning, and they've not stopped Tuesday morning, and they will not. The Democrats have their foot on your throat, Republican, and it won't come off till Election Day. And the media is the biggest campaigning arm of the Democrat Party, okay? They will not stop campaigning until November's election's over and they see what they can't do to flip the House, so they can see what they can't do to have the President of the United States impeached, so then they can come on every night and laugh at the President of the United States. They literally laugh at our president every time something happens. So these two here, Jeff Sessions, okay, when President Trump says in a tweet, "Good job, Jeff," okay, right now, there's nothing on these indictments that could not have waited for 10 more weeks. The evidence would not have gone away, okay? The evidence would not have gone away. These two would have been elected. Then they would have been indicted. And after they're indicted, you do know Congress has the right not to seat an elected congressman. They can vote not to seat you, okay? If you break the rules, Congress can vote not to seat you as a congressman, okay? Anyhow, that being said, these two could have, after the election, could have been indicted, removed from office, forced to resign, and then it would have given the opportunity in those districts for another candidate to surface on time, outside of the scandal of any part, have nothing to do with any part of what happened, and a special election could have took place, and it could have been head-to-head without the backdrop of these two candidates overshadowing the election. Look, Obama and Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch covered up so much stuff. They held on to things till after election. They make sure certain things are dropped before election. All Trump was saying is, look, Jeff, you know you could have held them indictments 10 weeks. You know that. You know that I never asked you. The President of the United States never asked the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, not to follow through with prosecuting Democrats or Republicans. Never asked that. Just come on, Jeff. You could have waited 10 weeks for these indictments to take place so the election would be over, and you're trying to flip those two seats right now. You see, if he flips the two seats right now, and these two seats do go Democrat, all right, then they are there for 2 years. And once they're there for 2 years, they come out as incumbents, right? They come out as incumbents. And 2 more years from now, they have the campaign cash. I mean, I tell you what, it's hard. You can do it. I know you'll point to several, but it's hard to unseat a congressman once they've got a term under their belt and they've got campaign cash and they got the machine behind them. It's hard to unseat them. All right? You see, if you unseat these two now, you put 2 Democrats in place that'll have 2 years, have the cash, and will be the congressman of that district. If these two win, if they win, and then they're indicted and removed from office, then you will have a clean shot at a Republican and a Democrat running for this seat, and the Republican could possibly win, or the Democrat. It's just Jeff could have. Good job, Jeff. You could have waited on these 10 weeks, and that is everything and all the President of the United States was trying to imply where this is concerned. He was not trying to tell Jeff Sessions to stop, drop charges, not look at, not investigate, period. I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to come back. Yes, Barack Obama just in time. You think it's a coincidence? Woodward's book drops Tuesday. Wednesday, there's an anonymous op-ed in the New York Times. Throughout the week, Kavanaugh hearings. And then all of a sudden, Barack Obama swoops in to remind us of what sanity and hope against fear. You know, Barack came out last week, and now it's Barack against Trump. Wonder when the poll numbers will come out on that. I'm your host, BKP. Let's take a brief break.
ACE is your helpful place for